I think nothing makes you feel quite as godlike as fishing does. Hunting is very temporal. You're on equal footing with the beast in many ways, but being able to tear some confused lower being from its world through the firmament into our own nightmare dimension, using all the trickery and misdirection available to our higher intellect, is uniquely satisfying. In my own experience, I tend to spend more time drinking and waiting around for nothing rather than actually catching anything, which in a way really puts things into perspective. Now, for those of you who are already avid anglers, casual casters, or just urban bugmen who have never seen a body of water that wasn't a pool in their lives, I recommend picking up Fishing Planet. I've been playing this game for a while now, after I heard about it, and while it was a bit overwhelming at first, I've steadily grown to love it a lot. Now I put it alongside American Euro Truck Simulator, my kind of autism game Hall of Fame. As I mentioned, I'm not completely ignorant about fishing. Growing up in North Ontario, fishing and public TV were about the only two free time activities that were available pretty much all the time. However, after getting into this game, I've come to realize how woefully unenlightened I was, and still am, when it comes to the finer artistry of angling. From catching catfish with cheese to highly specialized tackle builds, there are a lot of things I've simply never really thought about much before. And in a way, I'd say you can generally learn a lot about fishing in real life if you give this game a chance. Now, what is Fishing Planet exactly? Of course, it is a fishing simulator, but I'd argue it's easily one of the best available in terms of its attention to detail regarding things like fish AI, physics of the rod, the water features, the lure, and so on, things like that. The sheer variety of options for extremely specific types of fishing, catching certain types of fish in different environments, and just the accuracy of the global locations in general. Now, that being said, I'd also describe this game as almost like the Korean MMO or gacha game of fishing, in that you're often expected to grind a lot, like grind continuously to climb levels, unlock new gear and locations, and just get money to buy that gear and tickets to these locations, as well as licenses to fish at all. The game at times can devolve into a huge grind sessions where you're just trying to maximize your XP and money gain in order to achieve your next step forward, especially as a free-to-play player. You also have MMO-like missions, which involve maybe collecting fish, exploring areas, other fishing-related tasks. There are even boss fish in each region, which have their own quest trees in order to attempt to catch them, offering some kind of special reward and a trophy for reeling them in. And like any good Korean MMO or a gacha game, there's DLC and microtransactions galore to buy premium gear, premium currency, premium location tickets, premium clothes, and so on. Perhaps this sounds a little bit bad, and to be honest, when I first opened up the game, I was pretty overwhelmed by how much is advertised to you for you to buy in order to boost your game. However, to be honest, after playing it a bit, I find none of this really matters that much. You don't really need to do any of this, and I'd argue, honestly, it kind of detracts from the game experience if you're just paying tons of money up front to buy some kind of like elite pack for all these high-level fishing rods or something like that. You aren't really paying to win, since the standard game, you're really not interacting with other players that much, beyond maybe like talking to them. I mean, it is kind of like an always online game, but some of my experiences with other players is just like talking to them, not really competing with them in anything. However, there are championships available, so there is some kind of competitive aspect. Really, you're just paying to kind of skip ahead in different zones, maybe get some specific tackle or gear you may not have been investing much prior. Like, for example, I've mostly been lure fishing in the game, but maybe I want to buy a pack with some feeder fishing gear, for example, but I don't think I will. Now, I mentioned I've mostly been using a lure setup, but this is just one of the main styles of tackle fishing which you can do. The three main styles you can focus on are fishing with floats, which is probably what most people are familiar with, fishing with a lure, and bottom fishing. And you begin the game with a very basic float rod, and this is probably the easiest for getting started because you don't really have to do much mechanically to actually catch the fish. However, I'd recommend definitely switching to a spinner lure rod and setup pretty soon, since not only is it way cheaper than a good float rod, you need so much equipment to be able to build one. The lure setup is way easier and cheaper, and you don't have to pay for bait. It's also much more effective for catching a lot of the best fish and leveling pretty quickly, since you get a lot of XP bonuses for fishing with the lure. Money in this game can be pretty tight for a free-to-play player. Honestly, it makes paying for a premium account pretty attractive. even though I'm generally not someone who buys DLC for these kind of games, it is a little bit tempting to get the premium package, the premium account package. Generally, I try to conserve money as much as possible and avoid the temptation to buy all the best gear as soon as it unlocks. You're always better off waiting for a while with your crappy old rod until it is just totally unusable. As for the premium coins, there is like a premium currency which you can buy in game. You can earn them through missions and stuff. I try to save them for very useful things only, like some better lures. Some lures you can buy with the premium currency are really good. More storage in my like home base, or unlimited fishing license in certain locations that I want to continuously revisit. Now, when it comes to making money, your best bet is check out some regions you've unlocked previously. For example, if there's 1 or 2 valuable fish in some region, you might just try to target those ones and really maximize the amount of XP and money you're getting. For example, in the first lake you unlock by default, lure fishing for some bass is a great way to get started. Otherwise, you can go move on to trout in one other earlier location, Rocky Lake, and maybe walleye in Emerald Lake a little bit later, which are good ways to get some pretty steady cash early on, especially with lure fishing. You get some bonus XP as well. Trying to complete missions as well will give you more cash and some more premium coins, which is also good. Now, I've been playing this game for a little while now and have had some pretty interesting experiences. The starting location, Lone Star Lake, is incredibly comfy for a home base, and I really enjoy just doing some relaxing float fishing here. Once I picked up my first lure set, I pretty much immediately broke my line and lost my tackle. A good lesson to remember so you don't lose the very expensive lures later. You don't want to pay a bunch of the premium coins and then suddenly the fish just eats your lure and you're shit out of luck to get a new one. I probably spent more time catching weeds at first than fish, but once I got the hang of it, I was bagging like bass after bass and getting lots of cash and XP coming in. After getting my fill of Texas, I decided to visit some of the other locations I unlocked. Czechia was pretty comfy, but I found it a bit boring, to be honest. And the bigger fish in Mississippi were starting to destroy my low-level gear, so I knew it was time to upgrade it a little bit. I put together this lure set and then started to make some real money at last, especially fishing in Emerald Lake, which allowed me to power level fishing for pike and walleye. I made some good money here, and honestly this map was a little bit boring. You're kind of stuck in one area only, and unless you want to pay for a boat, to rent one or buy one to go explore the lake a little bit more, there's not too much to do. So I decided to move on and try some trout fishing in Colorado instead. Geez, these trout are not biting. I'm using the fluoro line, which should be good for trout. Trout are very sensitive to color, so I need to avoid them seeing like anything. Geez, the trout will even see you standing on the edge of the water, and they'll avoid you. So you do have to be careful when it comes to keeping out of sight from trout. You know, it's a little bit of a cloudy day. Maybe I'll try switching my my hookup. Let's try my narrow spoon. That might be good. I'm using a spinner right now. Let's try my this one. This is really good. Honestly, this purple narrow spoon has been great. I need to pick up some jigs. That would be good for trout as well. Whoa, long cast. All the way on the other side of the lake. Look at that. This rod's so great, to be honest. This is a really cheap setup too. Like the most expensive thing is probably this lure and that rainbow lure. Both of those are premium lures that I paid the premium coins for. Oh, I got something. Got something, finally. See, this lure always works. Oh, look at that, he's fighting. Let's put the drag a little bit down. Probably not very big. Looks very small. What is that? Is that a trout? Oh, nice. Cutthroat trout, young one, so pretty small. But let's keep it. I forgot my keep net. I brought my fish jail, so I can't really let these go. If I keep it, I'm going to have to keep it for sure. I think I will release him. He's not worth very much. And I don't want to keep him and then dump him later, because with this fish jail, I basically have to keep them or else they'll die. And then I may get fined by the state here. Great, so I got some reward there for that. Okay, great, thanks. This is a good trout setup, actually. So I think I've mentioned earlier, you can buy like sets that are specific for certain types of fish. So for example, if I really love trout fishing, you can go to areas that have a lot of trout like this one in the mountains or other areas where target them. and get some gear that really just targets them specifically. I may put my spinner back on because spinners are really good for trout, but I don't know. I mean, I wasn't getting any bites with my spinner, so let's just keep using this one for a little while. Maybe because like evening time, dark lures like black or purple, something dark color tends to do really well in the evening, even in real life too. That's something you can think of if you go fishing. Oh, see, I get another bite with this one. Black or dark colors in general, but especially black is like the best natural color for a lure. You may not think about it, but black leaves a super strong silhouette. Okay, he's pulling me a lot. This must be big. Let's up my drag a little bit more. Black. Oh shit, this is hard on my reel. Shit, he's strong. Look at him go. 4N, 4L. I wonder what that means. But black is like I was saying, black is one of the best colors for a natural color lure. Black has the strongest silhouette in the water, and it's the easiest color to like strongly see. So if you want to like track the fish, a black lure is always a good bet if you want something more natural. Other colors are good too, but they kind of depend on the weather and the light conditions and stuff. So for example, if it's not bright enough, some colors may kind of fade away, but black is always like strongly standing out in the water. So that's why if you go fishing, consider a black lure. Okay, this guy's not coming in. He's not coming in at all. I have to go a little bit higher drag. I just gotta hope he doesn't bust my line here. Ooh, pushing it. Oh, my poor reel. I'm gonna have to upgrade this reel eventually, but oh, it's getting busted. 75% already makes me... Jeez, he's not coming in. This guy must be big. Holy shit. Come on. Let's get him. Let's fight him a little bit. Oh, I don't want to break my line. I don't want to lose this lure. This lure is expensive. Let's pull him in. Let's pull him back a little bit. Come on. Okay, let's do an old trick like that. Walk back and then reel the line in and then pull him in. Oh, boy. There we go. Yeah, come on. I got him. I got him. Oh, there he is. There he is. I got him. Oh, he's tough. He must be big. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's get him. Let's get him. We got him. We got him right here. Right here. 9 meters, 8 meters. Oh, he's right in front of me. He's right in front of me. Come on. Jesus Christ. Look at him go. Look at him go. Oh, boy. He's right here. I got to pull him. One more big pull. He should be okay. He's right in front of me. Just pull him out. Holy shit. He's pulling me back out again. Come on. Get in here. Holy shit. Is he going to go on land? Okay, I got him now. Got him. Oh, look at that guy. Look at him. Oh, boy. Look at that. Unique cutthroat trout. Damn. That's a big boy. That's a big trout. Look at that. Wow, that's great. Unique one, too. Unique is like the highest you can get. Other than like the true unique, like monster fish in each lake, the uniques are like the best you can get. So that's great. Jeez. That's amazing. Look at that. Oof. A lot of money for that. $300. How much XP did I get for that? Quite a bit. 200 something XP for that fish. That's great. Look at that. Damn. That's a big trout. I'm keeping him for sure. I love trout fishing, man. Now, there are a lot of other things I want to do next, like going after some huge trophy catfish or building some new rods to have some diversity beyond just lure fishing. But there's one thing I would need to do before I moved on. I received news about a monster in Lone Star, Texas, one of the big boss fish that there is in each area. A massive smallmouth buffalo named Meye, and I knew I had to catch him. Now, Meye would be different from any other fish I caught previously. He could see even the faintest of lines, so I had to get a special line just for him, and he would avoid them. So, an invisible line from old backlash, old leftover lines floating in the water that have been soaking in the lake and turned the same color as the murky water. After finding enough backlash and a ton of other junk, I was ready to face the monster with my new invisible line. I'll be honest here, I literally spent like 3 hours trying to get him to bite with no luck whatsoever. So if anything, that's a mark towards the realism of this game. I tried all different times of day, different types of bait which might attract him, different hooks, different locations, and so on. Nothing really seemed to work, and I was just getting a bunch of random other fish instead. I finally had my breakthrough when I started fishing on a day with nice clear weather and a warm afternoon feeding time. The sun was hot, the bugs were buzzing, and I was half asleep in real life with a beer in my hand like any good angler. When I finally got a bite, I knew it wasn't just another bluefin or shiner. The monster's head was crusting from the water, and I was being pulled all across the lake just to avoid my reel or line breaking on me. I didn't think I'd be able to take him, honestly. My reel couldn't put enough drag on the line to even slow him down, and he was pulling me around with zero care at all. As luck would have it, God smiled on me that day, and the monster Meye got trapped within the structure of an old wooden bridge that crossed the mouth of a nearby creek, and I was able to use my strength to yank him through the geometry of the ground beneath me and secure my victory. So, in a way, man 1, fish and game physics 0. Now with my prize secured, it's time to move on. So maybe going after those catfish in North Carolina or Mississippi, or on to Florida to fish for gar, or eventually who knows. Lake game, there's the Congo River and the Amazon, and deep sea angling off the coast of Japan. Until then, I'm going to be here embracing that Hyperborean urge to fish. So until next time, guys, see you around.